Prepare yourselves for a battle of epic proportions between two titans. Feast upon their voices and revel in their words. This is Dueling Ogres.
Hello, Ogres, and welcome to episode 216. Thank you for joining us as always on this computerized Wednesday evening, Earth date August 25th, 2021. I'm your host, Remington Hitchcock, and with me as always, my co-host, Brandon Full. Say hello, Brandon.
Hello, Remington. It is computerized day here.
Any excuse to bring out Robot Brandon, because sometimes real Brandon is unpredictable.
Insatiable. Lustful.
Well, a little bit, sometimes.
Yeah. Robot Brandon, though, has no emotions.
Nope, he is
except
logical.
For the emotions of love.
And cold. Well, I don't know if it's love so much as it is lust.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know why they programmed him with lust. He's standing in the corner right now. He looks exactly... I mean, you know what Robot Brandon looks like, but can you describe him for our listeners?
Yeah, he looks like regular Brandon, except that he's a robot.
Perfect.
So he still has the wavy hair, but it's that metallic wavy hair. Well, it's not even really metallic. I'm pretty sure it's carbon nanotubes.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
He's
I don't
constantly
know.
leaking
I didn't design
oil.
him. Yeah, much like the real Brandon.
Yeah, he didn't have to be leaking oil. They just modeled him after me and we're like, well, the real Brandon leaks, so I guess this one has to as well.
Yeah. See, it's very true to form.
Yeah. I like the idea that Robot Brandon is my roommate.
Yeah, he's just standing in a corner.
Can I get you anything? No, Robot Brandon, please.
He's just sitting there rubbing his metallic nipples. Can I get you anything? Well, he's, programmed for lust, so.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
When I say anything, I mean anything.
Ew, robot semen.
They didn't program him with semen, Remington. That would be a step too far.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's also because you're shooting blanks as well, eh?
Yeah. It's not semen, it's actually flaming hot lava.
I thought you were going to say Flamin Hot Cheetos.
Oh, God, that's even better. I have no interest in sucking off this robot version of me, but I do love Flaming Hot Cheetos.
Do you like the Flaming Hot ones, or do you like the I like the jalapeno ones.
I don't really like either of them. I like just the Regsies plain Cheetos.
Yeah, I mean, those are a staple. But if I'm craving a little hot, I don't want the Flaming Hot. I like the taste of the jalapeno that comes from the jalapeno ones.
Yeah.
It's like a jalapeno dust, so you get that kind of green sensation, in the back while your mouth is on fire. And they're not quite as hot as the Flaming Hot ones, I will give them that. But I mean, if you've shoved half of a bag of them into your face, the capsaicin's going to start stacking up.
Yeah, which I tend to do. I don't eat Cheetos like a normal person. I eat Cheetos like a literal pig.
Yeah, same here.
I put them in a bowl and just feed myself from my face.
A bowl. I just pour the bag into my mouth.
You're just choking on them like.
Yeah. Tried to use chopsticks to eat them just to slow myself down, and you just get frustrated because you just want that fiery goodness more in your mouth.
Yeah. This is Cheetos Chat.
Yep. Welcome to Cheetos Chat, episode 1.
Welcome to Cheetos Chat. Yeah.
Today we'll be comparing them to Takis. I've never had them. Fuck you, Takis.
You've never had Takis?
Nope.
Oh, they're not that good.
All I know is that there's a specific factory that Markiplier likes to prefer to get his from because he doesn't actually eat them. He sucks the powder off of them and then spits them out like some kind of monster.
That's fucking disgusting.
It is. It's super gross. You could go to his channel and watch him fucking do this and compare snacks. It's
Ew.
I'm just like, dude, why? Just fucking chew on them, you animal.
Yeah. I may have told this on here before, but I had a girlfriend once and we were sharing a bag of lime corn chips. Have you ever had
Okay.
those?
I know of which you speak, but I'm not usually a big lime person.
Okay. Well, we were sharing the bag and I had gone out to get some groceries and I came back and the bag was still there. So I was like, oh, awesome. So I took a big handful of chips and popped them in my mouth and they were all wet. And
Ugh.
she had done the same thing. She had licked
Ugh.
all the lime seasoning off and then put them all back in the bag.
Ugh.
Yeah, to throw them away, presumably, and not to
Ugh.
prank me in a terrible way. But
Oh God, that actually made me gag a little bit.
yeah, it
Oh
was pretty
God, I
gross.
can't get the fucking thought out of my head.
They were soggy.
Oh, you're not helping. You're not helping. God damn. I don't have anything to drink. Okay, give me like 2 minutes to grab some water.
Okay, let me refill mine too.
Yep. All right. All right. I'll jump back into it. Well, what have you been into, man?
Not much. I left Jurassic Park, unfortunately.
I'm sure Chris Pratt was very upset.
He was. It was sad to see me go. He gave me a huge hug and was like, "Well, I'll miss you, Brandon. Can't wait to see you again."
Take care and God bless.
Come see me at church anytime. And I now
Sounds
work at the
exactly like him.
library. Yeah, I now work at the Library of Ashurbanipal.
The Library of Ashurbanipal?
Yeah.
Like the ancient Assyrian ruler Ashurbanipal?
Yes, I work in his library doing tech support.
Oh. So
It's a pretty easy job.
I imagine, considering the fact that it was clay tablets.
Have you tried stamping and unstamping the clay?
No, I have not.
Yeah, that's my secret. Most of the time you can solve all your problems by stamping and unstamping the clay.
Well, I'm glad that your knowledge of cuneiform is bearing fruit.
I'm more like cuneiform, if you know what I mean, Remington.
Or cuneiform. I always forget how to say it. I always leave the I out.
Cuneiform. You gotta say it Italian.
Cuneiform.
No, Latin, not Italian.
It's not even Latin.
Yeah, it is.
No, it isn't.
I work there, Remington. Of course it is.
He was Babylonian.
It's all Latin.
Or Assyrian. That
Are
came
you
before
serious?
Latin. Yes.
Did it? No, I don't know.
Yes, 100% it did.
What's great is people will come up to me working in the library and ask me questions about books, and I'm not a huge reader outside of like our listeners' books, like Terry's books and Steven's books and Josh Smith's books.
Uh-huh.
So I don't really ever have suggestions or anything. So I got to be like, I'm just the computer guy.
Look out over here. I am computer guy.
Move out of way. I have computer to fix. Computers at the Library of Ashurbanipal.
I must go help this ancient Babylonian type in their emails. What? How do I attach picture? You hit little paperclip. I don't have a paperclip. Where do I put paperclip in computer? It is large document. Should I not use big black paperclip thing?
Perhaps I use big stapler. Is that
What?
That's the Assyrian accent?
Yeah, it's just really bad Russian.
I am a Syrian, of course I am. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been trying to teach myself Excel. I don't need it for work, but I'd like to be more useful by knowing Excel because they've been asking me problems with their computers that I wasn't expecting to know,
Uh-huh.
especially programs I'm not familiar with.
Yeah,
So in my free time at work, I've been taking an Excel class.
that's cool. Have you started on the networking class?
No, I keep meaning to. My internet's been so spotty, and then I've had Thora, and then other excuses that aren't valid.
Right, yeah, that's what I was going to say.
But I am. I am going to start on this Udemy classes.
I believe you.
I will.
I do. I genuinely believe you. That wasn't me being facetious.
Okay, I appreciate it because I am going to. I would like to learn more.
I might have to take a poke at it too. There's a lot
Yeah,
of
you
stuff that I
should.
don't know.
We can grill each other. If you
And
were
then
going to
do tests
grill me,
together? Mm-hmm.
yeah, if you were going to grill me, which meat would you use?
Well, you are the meat, so wouldn't it be which spice would I use?
No, I mean like which cut of meat?
Oh,
All of me? Would you cook me like a roast pig?
God, yeah.
With an apple in my mouth and everything?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Skewer right up through the buttocks.
Right on the spit.
Yep, rotating you over a home dug fire pit.
So besides getting hard at the thought of eating me, Remington, what have you been up to?
I didn't say anything about being hard. I
It was
am, but
implied.
for completely different reasons.
It was heavily implied.
Well, I'm a heavy guy.
Everything I do is heavy.
Subtle fat joke. I've been good. I haven't been really keeping track of what I've been doing. I've been kind of all over the place. And the past few days, actually probably a week now, I hadn't had my medication, and I'm wondering if it was making a difference because I do, like, thinking back on this past week, I feel like I've been a whole lot more scatterbrained. I've still been getting shit done, but I haven't
Yeah,
felt
why
quite
haven't
as
you had your
focused.
medication?
Because the auto refill didn't auto refill. So then I had to call in for the refill because it was the last one, and I don't know if that has any bearing on it or not. But for the
It just
record,
hasn't been filled yet.
yeah, it just hadn't been filled. I just picked it up today. For the record, anybody who didn't know, I was put on Wellbutrin to help my focus issues for the ADHD that I apparently don't have.
Your
But
ghost ADHD.
yeah. So to recap that story, I went to a therapist. She said, if you are on the spectrum of ADHD, it's very, very, very light, and I don't want to put you on a stimulant, or I wouldn't recommend putting you on a stimulant. And I said, that's fine, because I didn't really want to be on a stimulant anyway. I just wanted something to help me focus. So then my
Right.
general practitioner doctor put me on Wellbutrin to help me out, lowest dose. And I really hadn't felt like it was doing anything. But kind of looking back on it, I feel like maybe it did a little bit more than I was thinking, even if it was subtle.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've got my new bottle, and I'll start taking them again, and we'll see if I feel a little bit better about it.
That's awesome, man. Everybody's on medication anymore.
It's an interesting experiment more than anything.
Mhm.
Like, I've never been one to take medication unless I absolutely had to, and to that end, asthma medication, antihistamines, standard OTC pain relievers like ibuprofen or naproxen, and antibiotics for when I have an infection. And that pretty much wraps up things that I will take pills for. Anything past that, and I'm just like, I don't think I need that. So,
We're getting
I
up there though, man. We're gonna
yeah, we
need
are.
blood pressure medication soon. We're gonna need blood thinners and nitrous.
I continue to eat a lot of garlic. I have a lot of garlic in my foods, which
Okay.
helps the old blood pressure situation.
Wasn't it Eleanor Roosevelt who used to eat chocolate garlic?
I have no idea, and it's not necessarily something that I do. But I'll tell you what, I love a delicious roasted garlic. I'll just eat that shit all day.
Just by itself?
Yeah, roasted garlic. Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's too much garlic for me. I can't do it. I
If
love
you,
garlic. I mean,
it,
I love
it,
roasted garlic cloves and stuff put
mm-hmm.
into food, but I couldn't eat it by itself, I don't think.
Nah, you take a whole clove of garlic, or you take a whole head of garlic cloves, and you throw it into an aluminum foil basket. Pour in some friggin' olive oil, maybe a little pepper, maybe a little bit of salt. Seal that bad boy up. Throw it in the oven or throw it on the grill. Cook it up until it's just soft and fantastic. Or you can take it and make spreads out of it. I just like to pop one in my mouth. Mm-hmm.
Story of your life.
Yep, I just like to pop it in my mouth.
Of course, you're talking about garlic, listeners, so if your mind went anywhere else, that's on you.
Yeah, you fucking sickos.
You fucking monsters.
Speaking of weird things, Brandon, let's go ahead and get into some stories, and I'll get to this weird-ass Mountain Dew stuff.
All right, yeah, let's get there.
Mountain Dew, and this is from chewboom.com, a website that I have never heard of, but hey,
Yeah.
it's got
So
food
obviously
news.
very reputable.
Yes, food news. It's got food news.
I'm
Clearly
surprised
built.
you hadn't heard of it.
Yeah, clearly built on a WordPress site, I can tell just by looking at it. Mountain Dew unveils a new Flamin Hot flavor.
What?
Yes, it's speaking of Cheetos, it's teaming up with Cheetos for the introduction of the new Minton, because, apparently they have given up spelling mountain many, many years ago. So it's Minton Dew Flamin' Hot Soda. The limited time soda combines the signature flavor of citrus dew with the heat of Flamin' Hot Cheetos for a new spicy dew sipping experience.
But why?
Why does anybody do anything, Brandon? Why do
Yeah,
marketing...
but that's not a good argument.
Why do marketing people do anything? Starting August 31st, 2021, Mountain Dew Flamin' Hot will be available exclusively via the Dew store while supplies last. Fans can keep up to date on the release by following Mountain Dew on Instagram and Twitter. To celebrate the new flavor, Mountain Dew is partnering with the contemporary clothing brand Broken Promises for the release of an apparel line inspired by Flamin' Hot. The limited collection drops via pre-sale exclusively to subscribers on the Broken Promises app on Friday, September 3rd at 11 p.m., while the official launch to the public will take place on the Broken Promises website starting September 4th at 11 a.m. So you have a whole 12 hours to get to get that pre-sale action and be a subscriber to the Broken Promises app specifically.
So you have to subscribe to the Broken Promises app?
So you have to download the app, be a subscriber, and then you get in on that sweet pre-sale action.
For the Mountain Dew or for the clothing?
For the clothing. The Mountain Dew is only available on the Dew store starting August 31st while supplies last. The Dew store is just store.mountaindew.com.
I hate this modern timeline. We're in Remington.
We're really showing our age now. I hate all the new things.
No, like I have no problem with them making spicy Mountain Dew. I have no problem with that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
But they're coupling with a clothing line to release spicy Mountain Dew clothes with a company named Broken Promises that you have to download their app for. That's just everything about that makes me want to throw up all over my computer screen.
I agree. It's just, I mean, that is 100% just shoving marketing in your face at its finest. Like,
Yeah.
you know that there's going to be a very small sector of people who specifically download the Broken Promises app for this, get their shit, and then delete it and never use it again.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But
And this
why
is
are
going
people
to be
clamoring for this?
well, that's just it. And this is going to be an exceedingly small market share that even does that. And then you increase that sphere just a little bit, and those will be the people who are wanting to get that sweet Flamin Hot Mountain Dew merch from the Broken Promises website 12 hours later. And then there's going to be a slightly larger subsection who's only interested in getting the dew, and they're only interested in getting the dew so they can make stupid YouTube videos about how hot the Flamin' Hot Dew was and how weird the taste is and how it's sweet but flaming hot at the same time. It's like, fuck.
It's like sucking off Brandon Bot.
Just dump a bunch of Flamin' Hot Cheetos into some Mountain Dew, and there you go, buddy.
Yeah, I have a feeling you could make this Flamin' Hot Mountain Dew pretty easily yourself.
I'm going to get a hold of Josh from the Mythical Kitchen just so he can make it for us.
Make it for us specifically?
Josh, I swear to God, if you do this for me, I'll start listening to Hot Dog as a Sandwich, your guys' podcast. I'll listen religiously for the rest of time.
If he does this for us. Don't plug another podcast, Remington.
I will do what I want, Brandon Full.
Hey, I have the editing power now. I'll bleep that
God
out.
damn it, you're right. But listen, if we get Flamin' Hot Mountain Dew from an experienced YouTube mythical chef, isn't that better? Isn't that worth a plug?
If we had it, yeah, but right now we're plugging for free.
I mean, listen, sometimes you gotta give to get.
I disagree.
Well, agree to disagree. I'm gonna totally take this snippet. I'm gonna take this snippet into Headliner. I'm gonna fucking tweet it at him.
Do it for sure.
Yes. All right.
He'll love it. I'm sure he'll come down from his golden palace to listen to whatever bullshit we say.
The capsule collection includes shirts, hoodies, sweatpants, shorts, and accessories. Because
like gold
why?
Chains?
I hope so. If there's a Flamin' Hot gold chain, I might get that.
You should start wearing a gold chain. I feel like you could pull it off.
Yeah, probably, especially with that bald spot on my head. I'm sure it'll look great.
Just put the chain in the bald spot on your head.
Yeah, that'll work out wonderfully. Oh, well, why not? Yeah, fuck it. I'll start talking like this all the time, too.
What the fuck was that, Italian?
Pasta visual!
All right, then.
I'm over here eating my cannolis. Leave me alone, Brandon.
With just this gold chain dangling out of your bald spot, shaking around like a ponytail.
As soon as I put it on, a wife beater materialized around my body and my regular shirts disappeared. I became Carl from the fucking Aqua Teen Hunger Force all of a sudden.
I mean, I don't think anybody would give you a second look if you had a gold chain with a Cheeto on it.
Is that a fat joke?
Yeah.
Okay, good. It's just a dejected, yeah. Why not?
I feel bad about making fat jokes.
Oh, why?
I don't know. We made them a lot in high school. We made them a lot out of high school.
Listen, I think
I'm fat now. I can't really make fat jokes.
I've said, well, you were pretty chunky as a young teen as well, though, if I remember correctly. So
yeah, I was.
And then you kind of grew into it, and then age just catches up with us all and slowly kills us by putting fat rings around us like a tree.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think I've said it before, and I've said it again. If all of the fat jokes and ridicule didn't cause me to slip my wrists before, they're not gonna do it now.
You'd have to really saw through that fat arm to slit your wrist anyway.
There's that low-hanging fruit that we wanted to taste from. All right, your turn. Tell me a story, Brandon.
Well, I'm not done bitching about
The Flamin Hot Dew?
the marketing campaign. So my story is
All right, old
sort
man,
of
keep it going.
no, my story is sort of connected to this.
Okay,
So
cool.
Magic the Gathering has been doing something called Secret Lairs for a while,
Okay.
where they will re-release cards with new artwork, like borderless cards, extended artwork, stuff like that.
Yeah. Blah,
And
blah,
they're
blah.
also
It's more
releasing
collectible, blah, blah, blah. Right.
exactly, so it means more expensive to buy. Well, they're releasing a Warhammer 40K set.
Okay.
They're releasing a I totally just lost it.
Dungeons and Dragons?
No, that was the regular set.
Oh, okay.
These are separate Secret Lair collectible drops. They already released a Walking Dead one. Lord of the Rings, that's it. They're releasing a Lord of the Rings set.
And this is
And then
Magic the
worst-
Gathering.
Magic the Gathering, yes. And then worst of all, they're releasing a Fortnite set.
What?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Why?
Now, again, these are Secret Lairs, so these aren't full sets. These are like 5 to 10 cards that you pay
Okay.
a premium for.
Okay.
But yeah, they have a crossover with Fortnite.
I would literally prefer to waste my money on Mountain Dew Flamin' Hot merchandise than that.
So if somebody said you can either buy this 5 to 10 card pack of Secret Lair Fortnite, or you can get Mountain Dew Flaming Hot booty shorts. You go with the booty shorts?
If they have booty shorts, there's no contest. I got some badonk in my donk.
I just want to be shoved in there like putting a summer ham into a fishnet stocking.
Check, please. Flamin' hot.
Oh, God.
Listen, I've already designed. So, for those of you who may not know, on the duelingogres.com website, there is a merchandise store called The Bazaar that we have merch on. You can totally go buy it if you were so inclined. But let me tell you, they recently released some workout pants. So they're the skinny yoga pants, but a little stronger, I guess, because they're made to work out in. Whatever. I designed a set.
Okay.
I have not released them to our store because there really isn't a whole lot of like Dueling Ogres branding or anything on it.
Uh-huh.
I took a just a black and white sketch of the Grim Reaper that I got that's royalty free to use.
Okay.
And I used one of their backgrounds that's just kind of like a mottled grayish blue and white, like I don't even know what to call it, abstract piece. And then I put down the side of the leg in a kind of a spooky font, a spoopy font, if you will, sweat to death. And it's just the repeating pattern of the Grim Reaper all over it. And I ordered said workout pants, and I'm waiting very impatiently for them to come so I can try them on.
See, when you told me you ordered workout pants, I thought you were kidding.
Nope.
Wow. So this shines a whole
100%.
new light on you.
I just listen. I've never had workout leggings before. Never thought that I would even attempt to try them on, but here I am, 37 years old, gonna pack my meats into some workout pants for the comedy of it.
Are you gonna work out?
I do yoga on occasion, not as much as I should and as often as I should, but I still do every once in a while. I'm not going to go into this with any illusion that having workout pants will drive me to work out more. I don't think that that's a thing that went through my head when I purchased them or made them.
Yeah.
But you know, if they're comfortable and I end up weirdly enjoying the sensation and start working out, and I'm like, hey, these are perfect for doing the stuff. I mean, I'll wear them.
I
Why
don't even
not?
know what to say.
I
This
don't
has caught me
either.
totally off guard.
Listen, it's a weird world we live in. We were just talking about that, man. But
What if you become like the workout pants guy?
oh my God, listen, if anybody wants pictures of my booty in them, let us know in the comments, wherever you want to comment at. I don't care where it is.
Okay, so
And I will
you're
post
offering.
I will post the pictures on our Instagram. But at least one other person has to commit to buying a pair of them.
Okay,
You don't even have to send me pictures of you wearing them. I just want to see the purchase order. That's it.
So let's say if somebody does purchase them and sends you a picture of the purchase order to duelingogres@gmail.com.
Oh, they won't have to.
Then
I'll get that notification.
okay, so if somebody does, then you'll post a picture of yourself in them.
Yes.
That way you're not
Otherwise-
clogging up our Instagram feed with your butt.
Otherwise, the only person who's going to see it is Brandon.
And Ginger.
Nope. Just you, whether you want to or not. And probably Larry. Larry would want to see it.
Yeah. He'd want to see your anus.
That was not going to show my anus.
I guess I underestimated how tight these things are going to be.
Listen,
overestimated.
They're tight, but they specifically say that it doesn't show skin when they stretch. So we're gonna put that shit to the test.
I thought you were going to say it specifically said that it won't show anus.
It's double layered around the beehole.
Looks like you're wearing a pad.
A man pawn.
It's to hide my anus.
Also collects the bottom sweats.
So the children don't see my butthole.
While I'm doing them squats.
Because when you put these pants on, you turn into fucking Sling Blade.
Bible says two men ought not squat together. Mm-hmm.
Oh shit. Okay, let me get to a real story.
What?
Netflix-
That's not real enough for you, Brandon?
It's too real, I think.
All right, go ahead.
Netflix is adding games to their service at no extra cost.
Oh.
So you'll be able to play, I think it's mobile games. They're going to try to move mobile games over to Netflix for you to play. I'm not sure how it's going to work. I guess if you can play with your TV remote.
I was
Or maybe
excited
if you
there
have
for
it
a
on
hot
Xbox.
second. I was genuinely excited there for a hot second, and then mobile games showed up and it ruined it for me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's how I feel about your booty short pictures. I'm excited until I see them, and then I'm going to be disappointed.
Says you. You haven't seen my ass out of a pair of slacks in a long time.
It's true. I don't even know what to say to that. I mean, yeah, you make a good point.
You're right. Pretty sure the last time that you saw it was when I was dropping trowel and inverted the picture colors. That way, when I put it into our friendly group chat, that Facebook didn't kick me out for nudity.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's a real thing that happened, people.
Oh God.
Right?
So yeah, that's the Netflix story. I know nothing else about it.
I don't know how to feel about that. I thought we were going to be talking about maybe not AAA games, but maybe some older stuff, or just let you stream it like over the cloud or whatever.
Yeah, make it work kind of like Google Stadia.
Yeah, exactly. But that's mobile games are built to be on mobile. Why would you want to play one on your TV when you can just load it up on your phone and watch the movie while you are playing the game on your phone?
Instead of taking over the Netflix just so you can play fucking Candy Crush or something.
Yeah.
Clash of Clans.
Yeah. Stuff like that. Well, I have an interesting follow-up since we're talking about mobile.
Let's hear it, buddy.
Do you remember the Joker virus?
No.
So Android let's see here. When was it? 2017. Android had a virus called the Joker virus, and it was hidden inside of apps that you would get on the Google Play Store.
Okay, yeah, I haven't heard about this at all.
Well, it has returned. The Joker virus hides in several apps on the Google Play Store, and the user does not realize it until their bank accounts are emptied.
Wow.
Yes. This is from entrepreneur.com. The Belgian police warned about the return of the Joker virus, which attacks Android devices and hides itself in various applications on the Google Play Store. This malware is capable of subscribing the user to payment services without their authorization and emptying their bank accounts without them noticing. Quote, this malicious program has been detected in 8 Play Store applications that Google has suppressed, says the Belgian authorities in a statement published this Friday on their website. The Joker malware became famous in 2017 for infecting and robbing its victims by hiding in different applications. Since then, the Google Play Store defense systems have removed around 1,700 apps with the Joker malware before they were downloaded by users.
Holy shit.
Yeah. In September 2020, the Joker virus was found in 24 Android applications that registered more than 500,000 downloads before being removed.
Does it say what apps they were in?
I don't know. I haven't read through the whole article yet.
Oh yeah, classic Remington, just reading the fucking article as you go.
As I go, baby. There's no preparation here. I just find one that looks good, and I'm like, fuck it. We'll start off, and then, yeah.
So we're all surprised at the same time.
Yep. That way I know what I'm reading before you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't make sense. I'm sorry. Cut it out.
I
Cut
know,
it
I was
all
just
out.
going with it. No,
Cut it all out.
cut it.
But 500,000 downloads before being removed. That's insane.
Yeah, it is. Sorry, I was shifting. Yeah, it is. I don't know, man. Like, how does this stuff get past? I guess they can't search every app to see.
Well, I don't even think it's that. I think just rewriting the code to the point where the algorithm, the virus detection algorithm that Google uses doesn't pick it up. I mean, that's got to be how they do it. I mean, there's theoretically an infinite number of backdoors to make something like this happen. The hackers just have to find it. There's always a new break to a system.
Yeah, true.
It is estimated.
Is this something that concerns you?
Not really. I don't download a lot of apps, period. I mean, I use what I use, and none of them have let me down so far, so.
Yeah.
It is estimated that at that time it affected more than 30 countries, including the US, Brazil, and Spain. Through unauthorized subscriptions, hackers could steal up to $7 per subscription weekly, a figure that has most likely increased in recent months. So, Brandon, do you want to ask how the Joker virus works in Android apps?
Hey, Remington.
Yeah.
How does the Joker virus work in Android apps?
I'm glad you asked, Brandon. The Joker Trojan virus belongs to a family of malware known as Bread, whose objective is to hack cell phone bills and authorize operations without the user's consent. Researchers from the cybersecurity company Quick Heal Security Lab cited in the statement explain that this virus can enter text messages, contacts, and other information on the infected smartphone. What makes this malware more dangerous is its ability to subscribe the affected Android user to paid services, usually premium or the most expensive version, without their prior authorization. In the beginning, apps infected with Joker or another malware from this family carried out fraud via SMS, but then began to attack online payments. These two techniques take advantage of the integration of telephone operators with vendors to facilitate the payment of services with the mobile bill. Both require verification of the device but not the user. Thus, they manage to automate payments without requiring any user interaction.
Huh.
Yeah. So some of the apps that have been eliminated after detecting the Joker virus were Auxiliary Message, Element Scanner, Fast Magic SMS, Free Cam Scanner, Go Messages, Super Message, Super SMS, Travel Wallpapers. So it seems like primarily,
Stupid apps.
well, SMS related apps, although there is some other ones here. The cybersecurity company Zscaler, cited by La Raison, made public the names of 16 other apps that, according to their analysis, also contain malicious code. Private SMS Hummingbird PDF Converter, which is photo to PDF. So these are photo-based ones. Style Photo Collage, Talent Photo Editor, Paper Doc Scanner, All Good PDF Scanner, Care Message, Part Message, Blue Scanner, Direct Messenger, One Sentence Translator, Unique Keyboard app with fancy fonts and free emoticons,
Ooh.
Tangram App Lock,
I'm going to download that one right now.
Desire Translate, and Meticulous Scanner. So not just SMSing style messenger apps like secondary, tertiary messenger apps, but also anything that you may use to turn a photo into a document so you can email it to a colleague or what have you.
Yeah.
Or translation apps. But I mean, that being said, with Android, if you're not using Google Translate, or at least one that you're paying for that's better, that you know that you're paying for, you shouldn't be using any translate apps that aren't like tried and tested, in my personal opinion.
Well, yeah, you never know what you're getting. Plus, Google Translate works just fine.
It does. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but you can get the fucking idea across.
I use it a lot for vocabulary, like if I don't know a word in French.
Yeah. And that works out really well because 9 times out of 10, especially in French, there's not a ton of different words that the same word would be.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you're not going to use a completely and wholly different word necessarily for a different tense or a different meaning per se. Not like in
the
English.
tense changes on who is using it, from what I understand. Granted, I don't know a whole lot about French. Even though
Yeah.
I've been taking it, I'm at 804 days in a row that I've taken Duolingo.
Wow, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Speak a French sentence to me, Brandon.
Parle un mot français. Amé.
Okay.
That means
Obviously
speak a
something.
French.
I'll speak a French sentence.
Yeah.
For me.
Speak a French word.
Ah, okay. I was going to say I heard French and parler. So, is that what you said, parler?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would be parler mais. Let's say. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Listen. No, that's closer. That's closer than I would have got. So go for it. Yeah, I mean, you're good. You're better. You're better than me.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, at French.
Oh. Okay.
So yeah, that's my Joker virus. Just be
That's
careful
my
about
Joker virus.
Be careful about what you're downloading, kids. You never know.
Why is it called the Joker virus? Does it say?
No, it gives me no reasoning behind why it's called that.
What a bullshit article, Remington.
I
This
know.
bullshit you're bringing to me.
Entrepreneur.com, you have failed me for the last time.
Delete.
Note to self, hack entrepreneur.com and steal all their monies. Don't worry,
Infect with Joker virus.
Infect with Joker virus, steal all their subscribers. I can't do that. Don't worry, entrepreneur.com. If it happens, it's just happenstance. Somebody else took the ball and ran with it. I am not that smart. Clearly, because I don't know enough French.
Yeah, that's what it is. You say you're going to hack it, and entrepreneur.com is like, Mon Dieu.
Sacre bleu.
Mountain Dew.
Flamin hot. Ah. All right,
So
your turn.
We've talked about fun. I'm trying to do it. You keep interrupting me.
Brandon, got it. You got it. Go.
Okay, so Final Fantasy XIV director Naoki Yoshida acknowledges long wait times in a blog post.
Okay.
He blames
wait
the
times for.
Oh, I'm sorry. Final Fantasy XIV director acknowledges long wait times to get into Final Fantasy XIV, the MMO.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And he blames the chip shortage for the lack of servers and COVID for preventing visits to servers to assess challenges. So have you noticed how much Final Fantasy XIV is blowing up?
I have not. I guess I am not in that sphere.
Yeah, man. A lot of WoW streamers have kind of given up on WoW and have moved over to Final Fantasy XIV. Its final expansion is coming out in November, and people are really stoked about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, there are a lot of people who exodused from Blizzard because of the whole sexual
stuff,
faux pas, I guess.
I don't know. I think it's a little more than a faux pas.
Yeah. I couldn't find a better word. It's the only thing that came to my head immediately. But yeah, I mean, it was a pretty extreme thing involving a lot of mid to higher level people, and just proves that if you're gonna be a little bit of a sleazebag, you should probably make sure that it's not in a group chat and you're deleting texts.
You're saying it's okay to be a sleazebag, just don't group text in and delete them?
Just don't get caught.
Just don't get caught being a sleazebag?
Yeah, listen, it works
for you? Is that what you were gonna say?
No, I was gonna say that it works for assassins. You know, they kill people and get away with it because they don't get caught.
Huh. I don't know if I like your train of thought on this one, Remington. I feel like we might have a little bit of a disparity in our opinions.
Well, thank God for that, because this hasn't been Dueling Ogres for a long time.
Yeah, I know. We're both like, oh yeah, I think this, and the other person's like, yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good to me. Yeah.
Yeah, sure, we're friends. We're best friends.
We've been best friends forever. No, but fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say after that. Nah, we'll just let it hang in the air and be awkward. It's fine.
Okay. What have you got? That's all I have.
Oh, that's it?
No, I have more stories. I mean, that's all I have on the Final Fantasy XIV.
Okay, I can slide into some gaming news with that.
Perfect.
Microsoft announces a $549 Halo-themed Xbox Series X console.
$49?
$549.
Oh, okay. You cut out there, or I didn't hear the 500.
Gotcha. Yes, $549 Halo.
That makes a
Xbox.
Lot more sense.
Yeah,
I was excited about $49. I was like, oh, I have $49.
I can have $49. Microsoft's first custom Halo-branded Xbox Series X console will arrive on November 15th. The $549.99 console includes dark metallic paneling, gold accents, and a star pattern to match the Halo universe. It even powers on and off with custom Halo-themed sounds, and Microsoft has changed the top fan section of the Xbox Series X from a green color to blue. The console bundle will also include a custom Halo-branded controller that matches the console, and Microsoft says that it will be a very limited edition that will be available for pre-order from Microsoft's site today. And that means today, August 25th, which when this episode comes out, will be like a week from now. So you've probably missed it.
Yeah, it's come and gone at this point. Let's see. I'm on the site now. Let's see if they're sold out.
While you're doing that, this is the first custom Xbox Series X console, but Microsoft has previously launched many custom Xbox consoles. A limited edition Taco Bell Xbox includes the famous ring where you powered on the console, and a special Minecraft Xbox One S looked like it had come straight out of the game. Alongside
I always wanted that one.
Yeah. Alongside a custom Halo branded console, Microsoft is also launching a Elite 2 controller. It's designed to match the metallic green found on Master Chief's armor, and it even has a custom case and D-pad.
Yeah.
And the D-pad looks like it's like squares that are just kind of beveled slightly. It's kind of neat. It would probably feel good under the finger, to be honest.
Oh, I just sent a picture in Big Heads, but are you looking at it too?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful controller.
Yeah, it is a super badass looking controller, for sure.
I just don't want to pay $200 for a fucking controller. I don't care how many triggers it has.
Right. The Halo Infinite Limited Edition Elite Series 2 controller will also be available on November 15th, priced at, as Brandon alluded to, $199.99. Pre-orders for the Halo-themed Xbox Elite 2 controller. Come on, guys. You could just say the fucking controller. Jesus. Come on, The Verge. Begin today on Microsoft's site.
Yeah, it comes with a carrying case, which is cool. Comes with 6 thumbsticks, 4 paddles, 2 D-pads, a charging dock, a USB-C cable, and an in-game weapon charm of the Xbox Elite controller itself.
Ooh. Are you telling me that's not worth $200?
The charging dock and the USB-C cable and the carrying case, I can see where it's $200 because the Elite controllers by themselves are between $130 and $150, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So you're paying an extra $50 to $70 for everything else that comes with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like it though. I don't see anything on the Microsoft site about the Xbox though, so I'm guessing it's already sold out.
Ooh, well, I guess I can see it happen. Oh my God, words. I guess I could see that happening. Halo is a huge franchise.
Yeah. Okay, I see the page for it. And yeah, there's no option to pre-order it anymore, so it must be sold out.
Damn, that's fast.
Was there a picture of it on your article that you were looking at?
The Xbox itself?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it looks great too.
Yeah, it's like starry.
Yeah, it's starry, and then it's got like the Master Chief design in the picture.
Yeah, that Halo armor paneling.
Yeah.
That is so indicative of the Halo series.
Very cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good story, Rem. Good story. I'm clapping. That was a
thanks,
good one.
man. Thank you, The Verge.
Did you hear about the Puffy Dorito?
Sounds like a medical problem.
Yeah, I've got a case of the Puffy Doritos.
Oh man, the Puffy Doritos really sneaking up on me today.
There was a Queensland, Australia teen, Riley Stewart, who found a Puffy Dorito. So it looked like it was in a bag of regular Doritos.
Okay.
But the corners were very puffy, like puffed corn almost. So she auctioned it on eBay, and the bid reached $100,000 before it was taken down.
What?
Yeah. So probably it was people inflating it just to be funny.
Right, yeah. Because I've seen these before. Like I've had this happen in a partial way, not fully inflated. I'm looking at a picture of it right now.
Mm-hmm.
But not fully inflated like this one is. This is pretty impressively inflated. But I have seen in my bag of Doritos at least one where, it's almost like the tortilla shell had folded over on itself and just kind of auto sealed, and then it built up some steam inside and caused it to rise while it was being fried. That's usually how something like that happens. That's where you'll get a air bubble in a chip like this.
Yeah.
That one almost looks like it was shaped to be that way, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, it does. Vanita Pandy, chief marketing officer at Doritos, said, We've been so impressed with Riley's boldness and entrepreneur spirit, so we wanted to make sure the Stewart family were rewarded for their creativity and love for Doritos, so they bought the chip for $20,000.
Hey, good on you, Doritos.
Yeah. I have a feeling if it was you who found a Puffy Dorito and tried to sell it on eBay, nobody would care.
Oh, yeah, that's how our luck be.
Doritos wouldn't care. I think the fact that it's a teen girl
Yeah,
really helped.
yeah, probably.
Because now Doritos can be like, look, we paid her $20,000 and her entrepreneurial spirit. If it was you, they'd just be like, what, the fat guy didn't eat the chip?
What the hell's wrong with
And
him?
he wants us to pay him for not eating one fucking chip out of an entire bag.
Frito-Lay hands me
Shit.
my fucking walking papers. Thanks, Frito-Lay.
I didn't eat one chip.
I've had my own podcast for like 6 years now, struggling to get by with my entrepreneurial spirit. But
Yeah, why
fuck
doesn't
you,
somebody...
you fat old piece of shit.
I wonder how much it would take for us to sell Dueling Ogres.
$1.50 and a pack of smokes. We'd have to pay them.
Yeah.
All right, if anybody wants to buy Dueling Ogres, it'll go for a cool $10,000.
You'd sell it for $10,000?
Wouldn't you like to split $5,000?
Yeah, but not to end the podcast.
We'll make another one.
We just can't make Dueling Ogres. We could call it Grueling Smokers.
we call it Muling Whims.
Fighting Trolls.
Yeah. A subsidiary of Adamtown Media.
Which in turn is a subsidiary of the Nerdist.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Talk about a fucking callback.
Yeah, for sure. It was like episode 134 or something.
Yeah. Oh shit, hit me with a story, Rem. This is going to be a short episode because I'm pretty much out of stories.
Hey, listen, that's cool. We've been going for an hour and 15, and I feel like we've had a lot of really good banter. Probably some of the best we've had in a while.
Yeah, I like this. It's one of our looser episodes, which we do sometimes.
Yeah, we got the jokes today, son.
We get so mired down in stories. Well, I wouldn't say mired in stories because that's 90% of what our podcast is bringing weird nerd stories and space stories and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes it's good to just let the dog off the chain.
Gotta get them riffs off.
Let him bite the riffs right in the dick.
Yeah. I don't have a good segue for that. Matrix 4 trailer and title unveiled during Warner Brothers CinemaCon Reel.
Matrix. Oops, we did it again.
Might as well be. This is from Deadline.com. Don't worry about reading the article because they have so many freaking ads that my ad blocker has blocked 39 of them. So I'll just read it for you.
Yeah, holy shit, 39 ads?
Warner Brothers came with a huge reveal Tuesday at its CinemaCon presentation, the trailer for its Village Roadshow co-production Matrix 4, and Warner Brothers also gave us the official title too, The Matrix Resurrections. The trailer begins with Neil Patrick Harris talking to Keanu Reeves' Neo, a near-future San Francisco. It appears that Neo is trapped in a humdrum world, much like his first self in the 1999 movie. He's just not getting his surroundings. Am I crazy? Asks Reeves Neo. We don't use that word in here, says Harris's therapist. Reeves comes in contact with Carrie-Anne Moss's Trinity in a cafe. Have we met? She asks Neo. A shot of blue pills spilling into a sink as Jefferson Airplane's White Rabbit song plays. Then a shot of Neo distorting into an old man in the mirror. A younger Morpheus tells Neo time to fly and hands him a red pill. Then a lot of jumping and a lot of twists in midair, karate, and all the acrobatics we expect from the Matrix movie. The pic, directed by Lana Wachowski, is still slated to come out on December 22nd. No word yet as to when the actual trailer will hit social media. This was only for the CinemaCon crowd. Prior to the trailer rolling, Reeves and Moss appeared in a making of clip exclaiming how the first movie impacted their lives. Said Reeves, "The first Matrix felt like something beyond yourself. You'll hear the sentence, 'The Matrix changed my life.' I say thank you, it changed mine too." Moss exclaimed about her bullet times shoot 'em sequence from the 1999 title, "I never thought Dodge This was going to be a big deal."
I could not care less about The Matrix.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm
I like
grumpy, Brandon.
the grumpy Brandon. I don't even like Lawrence Fishburne.
I don't like The Matrix. I don't want to watch it.
I liked the Matrix series. It did get a little weird, but I don't know if it got a little weird just because at that point it was so hyped, and so the decisions that were made in especially the third film just kind of felt like I wasn't interested because it was overhyped.
Yeah.
But I mean, overall, I've watched them in sequence, and I like how the storyline goes together ultimately.
I've seen the first one. I haven't seen 2 or 3.
Oh, really?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna berate you for it because I would say that the first one is probably the best one. But like, then you go on to have like werewolves and stuff. There's a whole kind of weird ass crossover that goes on. I don't know, man. I almost feel like you'd like the other ones better than the first one.
There's werewolves in it?
Yeah. The idea is that the weird what's that fucking word?
I have no idea.
Like what are ghosts? Paranormal. There we go. Paranormal. That's the kind of paranormal stories that have happened over the years and stuff are all constructs to explain away glitches in the Matrix. So, like, you know, people having superpowers, or werewolves, or vampires, or Loch Ness, what have you. Those all never existed even in human history. They're all kind of constructs to explain away certain things in the Matrix, or some people think that, or it was stories about things that happened in human history that the Matrix then folded into explaining glitches in said Matrix.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that kind of stuff. It's only barely touched on, but if you pick up on that, then it definitely adds an extra layer to the story that I think that of the weird things about the Matrix you would appreciate more.
Yeah, maybe I'll give him a shot because I do like werewolves. So seeing some werewolves fighting Keanu Reeves, that sounds promising.
Yeah, for sure. And then the you remember the pictures of the twins that had like the white dreads and they were like kind of painted all white?
Yeah.
Those were ghosts.
Okay.
Like that was what they were. You know, people saw them and just thought they were ghosts, but really they were, avatars of the Matrix trying to perform, or programs of the Matrix performing functions.
Okay.
Yeah, so similar idea.
Yeah, that is neat.
Yeah, that's it for that Matrix 4. I'm kind of excited about it. It looks like they're almost rebooting it, not in the sense of like, completely rebooting it from the very beginning, but just kind of revisiting the one. It's almost like this could be happening in a different version of the Matrix, and it's just repeating itself like it always has.
Well, isn't that how the third one ended? Is that with the revelation that that there was always a Neo and that was part of the Matrix, is it creates a Neo to give people hope?
Yeah, I think so. Only I think this third Neo, or well, not the third Neo, it happened a myriad of times, but that this one had come farther than any other one before him.
Okay.
So it has been a while since I've seen all of them. Probably a good 10 years.
30
maybe.
years.
No, not 30. Not 10 either. Probably 7 since I've actually sat down and watched them.
That's a very specific time frame. 7 years.
Yeah.
Speaking of trailers, though, did you see the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer?
I did see it. Can you believe that? That I actually watched a thing that we would probably supposed to be watching and talking about?
I know, before the episode, too.
Yeah.
What'd you think of it? I'm fucking excited for it. I think it looks awesome so far.
I am really interested that they are bringing Alfred Molina back as Doc Ock, Jamie Foxx as Electro. It looks really cool. It does. It looks really cool.
Yeah. And the Doctor Strange interaction. I think I like Doctor Strange as a character. The Marvel movies made me like him. I've never read any Doctor Strange in the comics outside of like Avengers with Doctor Strange.
Right, yeah.
But I think Benedict Cumberbatch does a really good job.
Yeah. I still haven't seen the actual Doctor Strange movie though. I really want to, but I just haven't. I haven't dedicated time to watching movies.
Yeah.
Makes me
I have it
sad.
digital. I can bring it to you.
Oh, sweet.
You won't watch it, but you can at least have it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it would be there taunting me and teasing me, telling me, hey, I'm Benedict Cumberbatch with an American accent. Watch my movie.
Hello, Remington.
That
Watch my movie.
that was me doing British actor Benedict Cumberbatch's American accent as Doctor Strange.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you.
I'm going to cast some magic now.
I'm going to cast some magic now. I'm going to say my hard R's.
Oh fuck! Do you want my final story, or do you have a story?
Rubber baby buggy bumpers.
Man, Doctor Strange got weird.
Well, it was already weird. Tilda Swinton said so. Scientists transform
Tilda Swinton.
Tilda Swinton. Oh no, there's no R on. Oh, there's no R. Unless I'm from Boston. Am I from Boston? Then it'll work.
Am I supposed to be from Boston?
Why does he sound like a fucking British schoolmarm?
Am I supposed to be some kind of wizard?
Okay. I've got some science news.
Okay.
I'll run through both of my science newses, and you hit me with your last one, and we'll wrap this fucking beast and put it to bed.
All right, sounds good.
Scientists...
I'm going to mute myself while you read.
You bitch.
Okay. I'm muted. Go ahead.
This is from livescience.com. It was 26 days ago, so it's a little old. But I was pulling... I have been bookmarking stories that I thought were interesting for the past few weeks, and some of them we didn't get to, of course, because we interviewed Terry last time. And so I'm revisiting them because I still thought that they were kind of neat. Scientists transform water into a shiny golden metal. Weird.
Alrighty.
I know. Weird.
Yeah.
In a mind-bending experiment, scientists transformed purified water into metal for a few fleeting seconds, thus allowing the liquid to conduct electricity. Unfiltered
Doesn't water already conduct electricity?
I'm getting there, Brandon. It's in the next paragraph.
All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Unfiltered water can already conduct electricity, meaning negatively charged electrons can easily flow between its molecules because unfiltered water contains salts, according to a statement about the new study. However, purified water contains only water molecules, whose outermost electrons remain bound to their designated atoms, and thus they can't flow freely through the water. So unfiltered water, yes, because it has...
salt in it?
Salt, yeah, salt and other, oh my God, Brandon.
Elements? Minerals?
Minerals, that's the word that I was looking for. Yes, elements and minerals. It has other elements and minerals in it. So yes, the electricity can jump from those minerals back and forth, but actual water, purified water, it cannot. So theoretically, if one applied enough pressure to pure water, the molecules would squish together and their valence shells, or the outermost ring of electrons surrounding each atom, would overlap. This would allow the electrons to flow freely between each molecule and would technically turn water into a metal.
Is it solid? Or it
Um,
just technically becomes metal?
It looks as if, because I'm seeing some pictures, well, there's a small video that accompanies this, and it looks like it doesn't just look metallic, it also behaved like a metal. Specifically, the resulting quote-unquote metal showed a pattern of energy release identical to the pattern seen in other metals.
Okay.
It looks almost like a like mercury, but more of a copperish bronze look to it, or goldish bronze look to it. The problem with the applying enough pressure to water, etc., and so on, the article continues to say, to squash water into this metallic state, one would need 15 million atmospheres of pressure, or about 220 million psi. Study author Pavel Jungwirth, a physical chemist at the Czech Academy of Sciences in Prague, told Nature News and Comment. For this reason, geophysicists suspect that such water turned to metal might exist in the core of huge planets like Jupiter, Neptune, and Uranus, according to Nature News. But Jungwirth and his colleagues wondered whether they could turn water into metal through different means without creating the ridiculous pressures found in Jupiter's core. They decided to use alkali metals, which includes elements like sodium and potassium, and hold only one electron in their valence shells. Alkali metals tend to donate this electron to other atoms when forming chemical bonds because the loss of that lone electron makes the alkali metal more stable. Alkali metals can explode when exposed to water, and Jungwirth and his colleagues have actually studied these dramatic reactions in the past, according to Cosmos magazine. But they theorized that if they could somehow avoid the explosion, they could borrow electrons from alkali metals and use those electrons to turn water metallic.
You know, it's good science whenever they say if we can somehow avoid the explosion, it'll be
Right?
interesting.
Right? In the new experiment described in a report published Wednesday, July 28th in the journal Nature, the team did just that. In the experiment, they placed a syringe filled with sodium and potassium in a vacuum chamber, squeezed out small droplets of the metals, which are liquid at room temperature, and then exposed said metal droplets to a tiny amount of water vapor. The water formed a 0.000003 inch or 0.1 micrometer film over the surface of the metal droplets, and immediately electrons from the metals began rushing into the water.
Okay.
I know, it's kind of hard to fathom like what they're talking about here. Of course, the link will be in the description below if you want to look at it and look at the video and the pictures that accompany this. It's insane to think about. Like, here's a picture of them dropping the droplets of metal into the water vapor, and it's just this tiny syringe, and then another pipette that's like blowing water vapor in toward it. It's super weird. Like, it still makes no sense just looking at it. For the experiment to work, what is it?
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, it's fine. Go ahead and break me up a little bit.
I was going to say, so I didn't think I could care less about a story after The Matrix 4, Remington, but you have managed to top yourself.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I don't know what I thought it was just neat, but there's nothing in here that says, you know, why this would be an important discovery, or, you know, other than it's just a neat scientific happening.
Yeah, well, and it's interesting to think that water inside of larger planets could be so compressed that it becomes a metal.
Uh-huh.
So I can see where that's a practical scientific application.
Yeah, for sure. It would be. It's like physics just not acting in a way that we expect it to act.
Right.
Or being able to recreate something that would take just an insane amount of energy to make happen.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
That's kind of where this is interesting to me is they're using a different way of going about it. They're using a backdoor to make this happen. All right, my second science story. This one's a little old now, but we're okay. We're still within the realm of
We're good. We're
cool
good.
stuff. It's all right. Google's new time crystals could be a breakthrough for long-awaited quantum computers.
Time crystals.
Time crystals. So something that has been known to D&D nerds the world over for a long time, time crystals sound like majestic objects from science fiction movies that unlock passageways to alternative universes. In the Marvel universe, the Time Stone gives wielders control over the past, present, and future. While that remains a fantasy, I disagree. Scientists have successfully created micro-scale time crystals for years, not for powering intergalactic spaceships, but for energizing ultra-powerful computers. Quote, time crystals are like a rest stop on the road to building a quantum computer, says Norman Yao, a molecular physicist at the University of California at Berkeley. It's an area of interest for Google, which, along with the physicists at Stanford and Princeton, claims to have developed a quote-unquote scalable approach to time crystal creation using the company's Sycamore quantum computer. Try saying that sentence 5 times fast.
Sycamore quantum computer. Sycamore quantum computer. Sycamore quantum computer. Sycamore quantum computer. Sycamore quantum computer.
In a paper...
I only said it once.
You did.
That's all I need to do.
Yeah, yep, you've proven yourself once again, Brandon. You are a god. You are a god among men, an Adonis who walks among us. In a paper published last month on the research sharing platform arxiv.org, it's ARXIV.org. Arxiv. A team of more than 100 scientists describes setting up an array of 20 quantum particles, or qubits, to serve as a time crystal. During experiments, they applied algorithms that spun the qubits upward and downward, generating a controllable reaction that could be sustained for infinitely long times, according to the paper.
Okay.
Infinitely long times.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah. Time crystals are scientific oddities made of atoms arranged in a repeating pattern in space. This design enables them to shift shape over time without losing energy or overheating. Since time crystals continuously evolve and don't seem to require much energy input, they may be useful for quantum computers which rely on extremely fragile qubits that are prone to decay. Quantum computing itself is weighed down by hard-to-control qubits, which are error-prone and often die. Time crystals might introduce a better method for sustaining quantum computing, according to Yao, who published a blueprint for making time crystals in 2017. Quote, time crystals are a weighted benchmark, showing that your system has the requisite level of control, Yao said. The scientists involved in Google's research say they can't discuss their findings as they undergo peer review. However, the work tackles an area where physicists have long hoped for a breakthrough. The consequence is amazing. You evade the second law of thermodynamics, Roderick Mosner, a co-author of the Google paper, told Quantum magazine. So that's the importance of this, especially in quantum computing. You know, if we can get us a long-term and sustainable thing that makes heat a non-issue in computing, that'll make a world of difference on not only how fast you can do it, because the hotter the things get in computing tends to slow things down because it's putting stress into the system. The time crystal concept was first proposed in 2012 by Nobel Prize winning physicist Frank Wilczek, who wondered whether atoms could be arranged in time similar to their arrangement in ordinary crystals. Essentially, he wondered whether a closed system could spin, oscillate, or move in a repetitious manner. What followed was a healthy dose of scrutiny from the broader physics community, years of university experiments with and without Wilczek, and testing to see whether his vision was possible. The definition expanded to include objects that would be activated by an external influence such as a shake, stir, or a laser strike. There is at least half a dozen smaller paragraphs that go along with this, it goes on to say that they are a tough concept to grasp, but I think it's slightly more graspable than the water into metal experiment. And
Yeah, I'd say so.
you can at least see the practical application of time crystals in regard to quantum computing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I thought this was a super neat one. I forgot that I also have a brief talk about Scarlett Johannsen and Disney and their little lawsuit.
Oh yeah,
So
I read about this.
if we want to talk on that, we can. But I'll let you do your story first.
Robert Jan Devine or Jan Devine, I'm not sure, of De Dalton's Diner in Oorthwijzen, the Netherlands.
Oh my.
Yeah, creates the Golden Boy, the world's most expensive burger. Sells for $5,964.
Holy God.
Yeah. It has Wagyu beef, white truffles, paleta iberico beldola ham. I have no idea what that is. Onion rings with Dom Perignon in the batter, Belgian caviar, and king crab between two halves of a saffron gold leaf bun. That's it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this is the part that I thought was cool. He said that he saw the poor people around in his area and it made him think to sell this expensive burger. Which at first I read that and I was like, how does that remotely connect?
Right. And then
But all proceeds from the burger go to the local food bank.
that's fucking sweet.
Yeah.
So yes, A5 Japanese Wagyu beef, white truffles, Paleta Iberico Bellotta ham, onion rings with Dom Perignon in the batter, beluga caviar, and king crab. Even the condiments are luxe, as the Golden Boy is served with a barbecue sauce that counts Kobe Luwak coffee and Macallan single malt whiskey among its great ingredients.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want barbecue sauce on king crab though.
I mean, that burger is going to be an absolute explosion of flavor
Yeah.
regardless. And they're going to be flavors that you are not necessarily familiar with. It's not every day that you get to eat white truffles,
Yeah, that's
but
true.
they have a very distinct flavor to them. Saffron gold leaf bun that also has some Dom in it. Wow.
Yeah. If I had the money, I would get it.
That's 5,000. Did you say 5,000?
Almost 6,000. It's
Yeah.
5,964.
Yeah, 5,000 euros, or just shy of $6,000. That's crazy. Oh,
Yeah.
where did you get yours from?
I didn't write down where I got it from.
Okay. I would like to add to the story, if I may, Brandon.
Yeah, absolutely. Go right ahead, my friend.
The title for most expensive burger used to belong to a burger at Fleur in Mandalay Bay Casino in Las Vegas, which cost $5,000. But that burger, which also featured Wagyu beef, foie gras, and black truffle shavings, also included a bottle of 1995 Chateau Petrus from Bordeaux, which accounted for much of its cost.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
then,
that's some
local
bullshit.
food bank. So this was Rob Report, is where I grabbed this article from.
We're grabbing these from the most random fucking websites that we've never heard of. Hi, I'm Rob, and this is my website.
Right?
So you have a Scarlett Johannsen story for us to wrap up on?
I most certainly do. So The Verge once again muddles its way into our speak because we tend to pull a lot from them.
We do.
They've got good stories. What can I say? They resonate with us.
I agree.
I just like being on the verge. I'm constantly on the verge of something. The verge of crying, the verge of bleeding, verge of well, you get the idea.
Yeah, I got it.
Disney fires back against Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow lawsuit.
So fill us in on the Black Widow lawsuit, Remington.
So Disney has filed a motion to have Scarlett Johansson's lawsuit against the company move to private arbitration, the latest in the ongoing saga of her complaint against the company over Black Widow's streaming release. Disney's lawyers filed the motion Friday in Los Angeles Superior Court on the grounds that Periwinkle Entertainment, which negotiated her deal, agreed that any claims related to her role in the Marvel film would be handled in confidential arbitration. But the motion also took several swipes at Johannsen's complaint that argued Marvel, compelled by its parent company Disney, breached an agreement when Black Widow debuted on Disney Plus through Premiere Access the same day that it premiered in theaters. The Hollywood Reporter earlier reported the motion. That's a hard sentence to read. It makes sense grammatically, but and
You
they
want to
have
try
a
it
link.
again?
Nah, we'll just leave it. There's a lot of other
Okay.
things that will need to be cut out. I'm not going to have you cut out that one. But
Yeah.
the Hollywood Reporter reported on that motion. Johannsen's complaint argued that the film's hybrid release cut into her potential earnings as a simultaneous streaming release hampered the film's box office permanence and therefore impacted her bonuses. At issue is whether the film should have debuted as a theatrical exclusive, but according to Disney's motion, Periwinkle's contract with Marvel, quote, does not mandate theatrical distribution, let alone require that any such distribution be exclusive.
So they're saying that she doesn't have a leg to stand on then?
Yes. Yeah, saying that the contract does not say that it specifically had to be released in theaters and not anywhere else.
Okay.
Furthermore, the motion states the contract stated that any theatrical obligations would be met with showings on, quote, no less than 1,500 screens. The motion stated that the film in fact debuted on more than 9,600 screens in the US and 30,000 plus screens worldwide. Additionally, Disney's lawyers also took issue with Johannsen's claim that she had lost earnings under the hybrid release model, though it's still unclear what specifically was promised.
Okay,
So,
yeah, I'm with you. Sorry.
So what do you think so far on this idea? So the TLDR, she's sued them because she thought that the double release on both digital platform and in the theaters hampered her income. Disney saying that whether it did or didn't is a moot point because there was nothing in her deal that stated that they couldn't do it.
Okay. I mean, if there was nothing in her deal that said they couldn't do it, then she's kind of in the wrong.
That's kind of where I'm at too. Without, of course, reading the deal or understanding the verbiage behind it. Maybe there's still some stuff floating around in the deal that she has something to hit back with, but yeah, it's one of those things that in this day and age where simultaneous release to streaming platforms as well as theaters is a thing. We'll talk about the COVID thing briefly, but I'm not going to linger on it because it's a little backhanded, and they talk about that in this. But more importantly, having the hybrid release seems to me, especially because it was something you had to pay for, if I remember correctly. Like you had to pay to watch it.
Yeah, you had to pay extra for it.
Yeah. So just like any of the other premium tier movies, you had to pay to get access to it. Disney also provided updated figures on Black Widow's performance, showing that it's continued to bring in big figures at both the box office and through early access rentals. As of August 15th, Black Widow has raked in more than $367 million in box office receipts worldwide and more than $125 million in streaming and download receipts, the motion stated. So that's $492 million.
So she got
combined?
paid, and then she gets bonuses the more people see it. I wonder
Yeah.
if they had it in her contract that it only counted in theaters.
Yeah, but even still, I mean, the bulk of that money, a third of that money, a little less than a third, is happening. Sorry, 3 times the streaming is happening in the box office receipts.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
So 125 million in streaming and download receipts, the motion stated, offering seldom shared figures about the success of a hybrid release in both theaters as well as on a streaming service itself. Accounting for the 55 million the film pulled in on Premiere Access and the 80 million in domestic box office receipts during its opening weekend, Black Widow's numbers surpassed the opening weekend figures of other Marvel films released pre-pandemic, the company argued, including Ant-Man and the Wasp and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Disney's lawyers revealed in the motion that it served Periwinkle a demand for private arbitration on August 10th, a little over a week after Johannsen's initial complaint was filed. The motion stated Periwinkle had yet to respond. Disney also reiterated its previous position that the complaint had no merit. Johnson's lawyers cannot be immediately reached for comment. However, in a statement cited by The Hollywood Reporter, her attorney John Berlinski said that Disney knows that Marvel's promises to give Black Widow a typical theater release, like its other films, had everything to do with guaranteeing that Disney wouldn't cannibalize box office receipts in order to boost Disney Plus subscriptions. Yet that is exactly what happened, and we look forward to presenting the overwhelming evidence that proves it. So, I guess without knowing whether she gets any returns from the subscription stuff, it's
Yeah, I
kind
would
of,
say that's where it's off for me. If she gets money for the subscription stuff, then I think she should be fine.
yeah, like what would be the point? Yeah, next time you do a deal, just make sure that you're covering those kinds of releases, because Disney has the right to boost its other things that potentially make it more money than doing theatrical releases. The theatrical releases are an expensive proposition to begin with. So not only do you have the money that goes into making the film, then you have all the money that goes into marketing the film, and you have all of the money that goes into paying actors to go around and do PR for the film. All of that to get butts into theaters.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not here defending Disney by any means because it's
No.
another evil conglomerate corporation, but it all comes down to what's in your contract.
Yeah. And why my point in to continue that line of thought is, why pay for all of that extra stuff when you can, like, you're still going to be sending the actors out to do their PR stuff. That's
Yeah,
going to be
no
a
matter
thing.
what.
But why not push the subscription thing? Because if you get it to the point where subscription becomes a more viable option than actually going to the theater for most film goers, and that's where the money ends up coming from, you're saving a ton by not actually distributing to theaters.
Of course.
Now, that, of course, is a death knell for theaters. So it's not exactly something that I'm promoting, but I'm just saying from a business look at things, that would be the most cost-effective way to go.
Yeah.
Of course, we're still in this very nebulous period of, streaming and then paying for movie on a streaming service that you already pay for, et cetera, and so on. It's still a very nebulous period in this time.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this all shakes out.
And then on top of all of that, you still have the people who want that theater experience. I still want that theater experience. I enjoy,
Mhm.
even though I don't go very often, I enjoy my time in a movie theater.
Yeah. I get distracted too easily if I'm not in a movie theater. If I'm watching a movie at home, I get
Yeah.
distracted and I'll kind of wander off or I'll look at my phone, stuff like that. In
Mhm.
a theater, I'm actually paying attention.
Yeah, for sure. And then you have a bigger, better experience, not a bitter experience, a bigger, better experience.
Yes.
You've got 7.1 Dolby surround going off. You fucking leave with your ears ringing when the explosion happens. You've got a very dark but cool theater. You've got a relatively comfortable seat, depending on where you're viewing your movie from, and a giant ass fucking screen that immerses you in the world. It does.
Yeah.
It's an experience that you cannot get at home.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, you have a giant projector.
Yeah, but I still don't feel like it's the same. And then,
Do you have
like
a
you
sound
said,
bar?
yeah, I've got a sound bar, but it's certainly not Dolby, and I don't have a 7.1 surround system set up, nor am I ever going to pay for one because we don't use it
Yeah.
that much. If we were a family that constantly watched TV on our downtime, instead of, trying to be productive with our downtime, which is what we usually try to do. Yeah, I mean, I can't justify those purchases, but I can go and enjoy that at a theater.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I'm kind of in a split point because even though I do get distracted with movies, I think I do prefer to watch at home.
Yeah, but how much of that is the anxiety of like going out to a movie theater if it's potentially crowded? Like how much of that is the anxiety talking versus your enjoyment of watching a movie in a theater versus at home?
I would say 50%.
Yeah, that's a pretty
Yeah,
big percentage for that,
it
I feel
is.
like. So, but at the same time, I also don't find myself going to movies all that often, even if there is something that I'm dying to see. Somebody usually has to say, "Oh, I'm going to the movie theater. Do you want to come?" And then I'm like, "Yeah, I can come." Because
We're
it's not
supposed to go see Shang-Chi, remember?
Yeah, we are, which we haven't. Is it out? It's out yet. It's out, right? Yeah,
Is
it
it?
came
I
out.
don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it came out. Let me see.
Oh, we need to go see it then.
Oh, Thursday, September 3rd.
Okay, so next week.
So next week. Yeah, I thought it came out this week. So yeah, to wrap me up, in response to the initial complaint in late July, Disney said there was no merit whatsoever to this filing. The company also characterized the suit as especially sad and distressing in its callous disregard for the horrific and prolonged global effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, adding that Johannsen had earned $20 million to date. That is a low blow.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, a multinational conglomerate like Disney trying to play that fucking card is douchey, to say the least. They did a fine job at closing down their parks and making sure people were safe and etc. and so on. I know they've lost a ton of money that they still could afford to lose
Yeah,
by
Disney is not hurting for money.
by doing so. But I get it from, again, going back to that business mindset and the fiscal responsibility to shareholders, etc. and so on. That sucks. It does. But pulling the COVID card just because an actor is worried about whether or not they're making the amount of money that they should be making is a low blow.
Yeah.
Barring how you feel about actors and their pay rates and etc. and so on. Like, it is not a job that everybody has the ability to do. And much like a star athlete, I think that both are overpaid, but at the same time, people are paying for that stuff. So what do I know? A number of organizations in the entertainment industry, including Women in Film, Reframe, and Time's Up, have criticized Disney's response to the lawsuit, saying the gendered character attack has no place in a business dispute and contributes to an environment in which women and girls are perceived as less able than men to protect their own interests without facing ad hominem criticism. In nothing in this did I see Disney attacking gender, other
Yeah,
than
from
the fact,
everything you've read, I don't see it either.
yeah, exactly, other than the fact that Scarlett Johannsen happens to be playing a female character and decided to speak up against this perceived loss in revenue. Like, this is a revenue issue. It has nothing to do with sex or
Right.
gender. Nothing. So this is that continuation for grasping at straws to anything to turn it into something that it's not.
Yeah, to
That
turn it
we-
political.
Yeah, that we keep seeing, and it's just so infuriating to me. Last week, fellow Marvel Cinematic Universe star Elizabeth Olsen also spoke out in support of Johannsen in an interview with Vanity Fair. I think she's tough, and literally when I read it, I was like, good for you, Scarlet, Olsen said. So that's the end of the article. I think that, if down into the nitty-gritty of the contract, if there's any leg to stand on in regard to her bonuses being hindered because of it, by all means, Disney needs to pay the appropriate amount. If it's not in there, then maybe Scarlet should talk to Periwinkle and tell them that the next time they do a contract for her, they should take into account what the bonuses are going to be from potential earnings from simultaneous premieres.
Yes.
That's between her and Periwinkle and not her and Disney.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everybody is slightly in the wrong on this.
Yeah, because there's definitely some official comments that Disney said that just don't need to be in there. Like, don't fucking throw COVID into this. This is not what that's about either.
Yeah, don't throw COVID in just to...
That's an attack on her character, not her character as a gendered person, or the character being a misrepresented gender, but it is 100% an attack on her character that is not valid.
Exactly. Yep, I agree.
Yeah, so that's a little somber, I guess, to end it on. Not somber as in sad, but just kind of a weird way to end it. A little awkward.
Yeah,
I guess.
way to end on a downer, Remington.
I just want to bring everybody down to my level, Brandon.
We should have ended with the expensive burger.
We should have. God damn it, you're right. Listen, everybody go buy a $6,000 burger. Scarlet, Disney, just get together over a $6,000 burger. That way you can both feel good about giving back to a food bank and hash out your details there, huh?
Yeah, just do it that way.
Buy it for the whole crew.
I'm 100% in agreement with you. They should do that.
Yeah, good job. They'll never hear any of this. Fuck it. Whatever.
No.
If you have any questions,
Scarlett Johannsen is listening to this at home right now.
Scarlett, you've been wonderful in the movies, and I appreciate everything that you do.
Yes.
Disney, you're a big ass company. You can go suck a dick. I don't care. If you have any questions or comments, or you'd like to hear yourself on air, you can call us at 978-DU Ogres. That's 978-386-4737. You can also reach us on Twitter at Dueling Ogres, email us at duelingogres@gmail.com, or leave a comment on the Facebook page like these nice people. Brandon, go.
We have one comment this week, and it is from Viscount Terry W. Irvin II, who we interviewed.
Did he comment on his own episode?
He did comment on his own episode.
Who does this guy think he is?
He said, thanks again for allowing me to participate in another Dueling Ogres episode. Did I ever mention that I had to read A Tale of Two Cities in high school and really hated it? Winky face. You replied, you know what they say about high school. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
I'm witty.
And he replied back and he said, it was a far, far better thing that I did than I had ever done. It was a far, far better read that I was forced to than I have ever known.
He's witty too.
Yeah. It was good.
Yeah, it was a good exchange. I liked it. Thank you again for being on, Terry. We always love having you on. It's wonderful. It was a shame that we missed a year, but we're back on track, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. Make sure to subscribe on our website at duelingogres.com for new shows or articles pertaining to some of your favorite geek news. There's a pop-up that asks for your email. Just shoot it over. You'll get a monthly thingy that does the stuff that tells you what we've done for the month. It's not overwhelming. It's just once a month at the top of the month. No big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. While
And
you're
we
at it,
don't get anything out of it, do we?
No, we get precisely nothing out of it. Every once in a while, if I ever do release new merch, it'll push out an email for that too. But I almost never do, so no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
Also, if you are 100% interested in the workout pants, you just let me know. Maybe I should put it up on the store if you want to get your workout on. We could do some yoga together. Buy a pair of pants and I'll come do yoga with you.
Yeah, or you can join our Discord and we can go on video and all do yoga together.
Yeah, we'll all do yoga together. It'll be great. It'll be a grand time at Dueling Ogres Manor. Oh my god. If everybody buys pants, we'll buy a Dueling Ogres Manor. We'll just all live there. Just you and me.
It's not going to be a very good manor.
Just you and me, Brandon. Just you and me in the manor.
But what about if I get a girlfriend?
No, just you and me. Just me and you, buddy. You and me. Manor for life. Dueling Ogres Cave. Dueling Ogres Den of Ogres. Dueling... Channeling my Rick and Morty. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's enough.
All right. Yeah, you're right. Finally, be sure to leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. Find us on YouTube, iHeartRadio, or not nearly anywhere else you can find a podcast. You will find Dueling Ogres there. We are fucking everywhere.
Everywhere.
We are fucking everywhere, and we are also everywhere fucking.
Especially once you get those yoga pants.
Got that sweet bulge. Do the thing, Brandon. You do it.
What do you mean?
Do the thing next week.
So until next week, Ogres, keep your clubs blunt.
And your tusks sharp. Good night. That's hard to do. That's hard to get.
Good night.
Yeah. I didn't even know you were ready for it, and you just went, and I was like, oh, there it is.
Yeah. I'll sync it up.
Yeah, you will. But damn, that's tough. It gave me a newfound respect for you, sir.
As it should.
All right, that's the end. I'm Henry the Eighth. I am Henry the Eighth. I need a script. I got married to the widow next door. She's been married 7 times before, and everyone loves that Henry, 'cause Henry the Eighth I am.
I'm the 8th old man. I'm Henry. Henry the 8th I am.
In a humdrum world, much like his first self in the 1999 movie, he's not getting his... Fuck, I'm going to reread it again, sorry.
Okay.
The trailer begins with Neil Patrick Harris talking to you... Doing it again. Fuck you. Sorry.
Hey, you chuckle fuck.
I love it when you call me that, I'm not going to lie. Chuckle fuck.
Robert Jan Devine of De Daltons.
Okay, hold on just a second. Let me go pee, since you're going to go ahead and start your story. But let me go do that.
Yeah, I'll pee too.
Okay. Oh. You there?
Yep.
Okay, sorry, that turned into a little bit more than a pee.
It's okay.
Speaking of, any links that you do still have, if you can post them in big heads.
Nah.
I know you tend to write yours down, and then I have to go hunting for something that's similar.
All you have to do is fucking Google it. It's not that hard, Remington.
When you do 5 stories.
Yeah, it's 5 Googles.
Listen, that's a lot of Googling.
That's more than 4 Googles.
That's more than 4 Googles. That's almost a Googleplex more.